it was Johnny Carpenter. I guess you all remember that wonderful movie actor, Johnny Carpenter. We lost him last year, but we ran into each other years ago, and he taught me how to ride Western. And if it weren't for Johnny Carpenter and Cliff Lyons and Yakima Canutt, I would have never gotten into movies, because they taught me how to be a stunt girl, and from then on, here I am.
So, are you having a good time here at the festival?
I was told that it'd probably be the nicest festival that I would ever go to, and they're absolutely right. Everyone is just divine. There's nothing like coming to the South. If you want to be treated beautifully, just go to the South.
When you were making the film, was there any sense at that point that it was going to be the classic that
Well,
it turned
only
out to
the
be?
fact that it was a George Pal motion picture. I grew up with George Pal in the Puppetoon. So we saw Destination Moon, When Worlds Collide. We knew what George Pal could do. The enthusiasm that it has, all this philosophical stuff that people give me, it's just a darn good movie. You know, everybody's got it with the Martians representing the Axis and the Germans. We just got out of World War II, and the evil this, and the communists are coming, and oh, good Lord, everybody's got a theory. It's just a darn good movie. And George Pal is a genius. Hate to say was, but he's still with us.
The film at the time, the special effects for filmmaking in those days was considerably different than what they're doing with filmmaking today, because obviously everything is now created on computers and things of that sort. When we were out in Los Angeles a few years ago, we were visiting with Forrest Ackerman, who is
lovely man,
a fine gentleman, and he has several of the Martian War Machine models there that we were able to look at. In fact, we'll show you that on television right now so you can see what it looks like.
Lovely.
But when you were making the film, were you interacting with any of that, or was that all put in later? How did that work?
Blue screen. That big blue screen behind you.
So they basically were telling you that there was...
Telling you what was there. Oh, except for the Martian when he put his hand on my shoulder.
Right.
And that had to be done because the poor dear Gomorrah, the man who made it, he did it all. He and his daughter did that all night long. The Martian was originally much larger, and when they brought it to the set, they said, "Oh no, much too large. Make it smaller." Wow. They worked all night long on that. It was still ooey and gooey. They wanted to put liver all over it to make it look terrible. They said, "I don't think the audience is ready for that." But it was still wet and oozing when he slipped into it. And the reason that the arms are so long is that came with the first model. They didn't have enough time to shorten the arms to fit the second model. So that's the only contact that I know of, except for the electronic eye.
Electronic eye. Like a television camera. It's looking for us.
When you see everything blowing up, or when we run out of the farmhouse, of course that's all blue screen. It came out in Los Angeles on November the 25th, 1953. It was released back east in New York in August. But I did see a sneak preview. And in those days, you used to have cards that audiences would write and slip in a little box, comments. So there were a couple of scenes that were edited out. When I see the Martian blood on my scarf, I think he shakes me and smacks me to shut me up, and they thought, "Oh, no one liked that at all. This poor girl's been through everything, and now he's going to beat her up." So they cut that out. So there is a sudden recovery when I'm down, and he said, "We'll get out of this somehow," and that's when the audience absolutely fell apart laughing when he said, "We'll get out of this somehow." So they cut that out too. How are we going to get out of that somehow? So far, nobody's gotten out of anything. And there was a scene where I fell asleep in the ditch, and I noticed that I don't know why they cut it out. It was never explained, but there's a sudden change where I awakened suddenly. And so I don't know if it was criticism from the audience or when they saw the reaction from people on the screen, they decided. But that's all I can remember. But I was most impressed, to see it in its entirety with all these special effects. It was quite astounding, and everybody was hushed. It's not that they didn't applaud, but they were hushed. It was shocking in those days. because it was so real. And it was almost like The Thing when they say at the end, look to the skies, look to the skies. I mean, people came out wondering if this could possibly happen to them. Wow. And who knows, we are not alone.